Tonight, the dramatic end to a police pursuit in Broken Hill and a Port Pirie house up in smoke. Authorities investigate the cause.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with Alex Sykes begins now.
Good evening. A police pursuit on a busy Broken Hill road came to a sudden end when a patrol car crashed into a concrete fence. Luckily, no one was injured, but authorities are now investigating the matter. Our reporter, Patrick Ryankey, has the details.
Just after 11 o'clock yesterday morning, police had engaged in a pursuit here on William Street. Officers had been chasing a man wanted for a number of break-and-enter offences. Seven Spencer Golf understands the offender was riding a motorcycle on a footpath during the chase. It's believed the police vehicle may have been used to block the man's path when it collided with a concrete fence near the corner of Zabina Street.
New South Wales Police have strict guidelines in relation to pursuits, and we're looking into all matters of police accidents or any accidents in the state of New South Wales, especially Broken Hill, and police are investigating the matter.
There was major damage to the patrol car, the impact also dislodging a cement column connected to an iron fence, the collision snapping the vehicle's left wheel axle.
At the present stage, there was only damage to the motor vehicle, damage to the fence, and no one else was injured, no members of the public or no police officers.
It's not the first time a Broken Hill police vehicle has been involved in a crash. In September last year, a paddy wagon rolled over on Chloride Street after hitting a car at high speed. In this latest incident, the suspect got away but is known to police. Officers are continuing to investigate whereabouts.
Police are conducting investigations into a house fire on Plenty Street in Port Pirie that occurred around 9:30 this morning. Authorities were alerted of smoke coming out of the Risdon Park South home by residents neighbouring the property. Firefighters were quick to the scene and they contained fires in 3 separate rooms of the house. The occupant evacuated the premises and was taken to hospital with minor injuries. And Broken Hill police are also continuing investigations into a vehicle that was torched in the early hours of yesterday morning. Firefighters were called to a section of bushland behind the local Greyhound track just after 4 o'clock to find the Ford van ablaze. Police say the vehicle was stolen in Wilcannia, with neighbours reportedly hearing burnouts before it was set alight. The fire was extinguished before it could spread to nearby scrub. A major traffic crackdown is underway in a crucial time for road safety. Police are amping up roadside operations at Port Pirie and other locations, with South Australia's road toll at a high level.
Combating South Australia's horror road toll, these RBT stations will be a common sight on our regional highways this festive season.
Police conducted operations, driver testing stations at Ulawira and Meriton, where hundreds of drivers were tested.
Police say they were pleased with no drink drivers detected in these operations conducted in the mid-north, but drug drivers were a different story.
We had 2 drivers that tested positive to driving with drugs in their system. One of those drivers received a 6-month immediate disqualification and also was reported for some other offences.
Fatal 5 operations are continuing across the region. Police say they'll be targeting motorists under the influence of drugs in what they say is becoming an increasing issue.
We do have a high hit rate in our area for people driving with drugs in their system, which obviously has a lot of risk factors to it.
The state's road toll has now reached 101, a major spike in numbers, which police say they're disappointed with. Police urge motorists to drive carefully this Christmas, a special time for families and friends.
And particularly in the country regions where people are very closely connected, it has a massive impact on our people, which police obviously feel as well.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Lincoln police are investigating the theft of a camera and equipment stolen from a car over the weekend. Sometime between 7 on Saturday evening and 6 the following morning, thieves stole the Nikon camera from the parked car. A zoom lens, flash and Sony camera were also stolen from the vehicle. The car was parked outside the Hilton Motel on King Street during the theft. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact Crime Stoppers. Whyalla has taken a major step forward with the launch of its Reconciliation Action Plan. It's one of just a handful of South Australian councils implementing the plan to build cultural awareness and cooperation.
A plan developed to incorporate cultural awareness in our everyday lives, the document represents a public commitment to reconciliation.
As Mayor of Whyalla, I'm extremely proud of the work that's been undertaken by this working group, but also by the council staff, and the amount of effort has gone into creating this document. Joining the city of Adelaide, Marion and Gawler, Whyalla is the first regional council to implement the cultural plan. We are a trailblazing council for the Eyre Peninsula, and there's only 3 other councils in South Australia that have undertaken this reconciliation commitment. The final document, which took nearly 2 years to create, holding great significance to Councillor Tammy Pond.
As an Aboriginal person, I'm very passionate about my culture, and anything that we can have to spread the word on differences of our culture and have that reconciliation of everyone coming together working as a team.
Bungala artists Jeanne Miller and Deborah Brown created the artwork for the event, with the council involving the community throughout every step of the development process.
We're very big on consultation. We've had our local bungalow groups have had an input on it. We've had a morning tea where we've shared things as we've been progressing. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, a warning over what you put in the bin after a Whyalla waste fire break out, and the special packs to help women affected by stillbirth and miscarriage. Welcome back. Council workers are urging people to use the correct waste bins when recycling and disposing rubbish after a minor fire broke out at Whyalla's Waste and Resource Recovery Centre yesterday. Local fire services were at the scene containing the fire, causing the landfill site to close down for the day. The source of the fire is believed to have come from a load of landfill.
We encourage the public and contractors to be aware of what they're placing in their waste bins and skip bins for contractors, as any hazardous or flammable materials can cause this type of effect back at our landfill site.
Anyone who is unsure which bin to dispose their rubbish in is advised to visit their local council website for more information. Local support services in Port Lincoln have banded together to create more than a dozen comfort packs for those who've experienced a miscarriage or stillbirth. The first parcels being delivered to the local health centre.
A tight bow, the finishing touch on a very important parcel. A dozen comfort packs destined for those across the region who've suffered a miscarriage or stillbirth.
We've created these packs to support families when they've happened to have the unfortunate experience.
Support service Mentally Fit EP has banded together with local businesses to create more than 50 packs, each one containing important information that could help guide someone through the grief.
So each pack has a range of information, local information, so where to go for support after you've experienced a miscarriage, and also there's a book of stories from local people across the EP who have experienced one before.
Local community members pitching in where they can, whether it's knitting a teddy bear or donating some bath soaps.
The need's really there, and so we hope that this is something that can be long-term and supporting families for years to come.
According to doctors, 1 in 5 pregnancies in Australia end in a miscarriage, with many in regional towns forced to travel to hospitals in the capital cities. It's hoped these packs can help support women locally.
So it's nice to have all the local resources here in one place as well for them.
Mentally Fit EP dropping off the first dozen comfort packs to the local medical clinic, where they'll then be distributed across the region.
To have a resource like this is really important, and Mentally Fit EP have done a great job putting together lots of information for women and where they can go for extra support if they need.
You can get your own comfort pack by visiting West Coast Youth Services.
We can deliver however we need to people in the community.
If you or someone you know is struggling, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Augusta markets are back in town this Sunday, the perfect place for Christmas gifts. 82 market stalls will be open on Commercial Road, with some businesses opening for Sunday trade. While the markets were in danger, local business owners took over planning with only a month to organise.
I just thought it would be a perfect opportunity to get this market back up and running, as it's coming up Christmas and it would be perfect for the town. The markets will be open from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m.
Uniting Country SA has applauded more than 100 Mid-North volunteers for their hard work throughout the year. But the task isn't over yet. The organisation is in demand, with Port Pirie staff saying Christmas is financially stressful for residents.
A symbolic gesture of thanks to these dedicated volunteers from across the region.
We are celebrating as an organisation the amazing work the volunteers do throughout the year, so we're celebrating with a Volunteers Christmas function.
No two jobs are the same, with these members putting in their hard yards for this organisation.
The reception desk at the Kadena office, so the receptionist has one day off and I go in and cover her for one day.
Volunteer 2 days a week in 2 different programs, and I mainly do admin work for those programs.
Now it's their turn to be celebrated, but they say recognition isn't the reason behind giving up their time.
It's nice to be acknowledged, but that's not why you do it. You do it because you want that sense of helping people.
Staff say United Country's SA assistance is vital to the Port Pirie community, helping those less fortunate.
It could be anything from DV to homelessness, anywhere up to financial situations as well. So we help with a lot of programs.
There'll be no rest for these volunteers, who say Christmas is the most demanding time of the year, with extra financial stress placed on families.
There's a lot of pressure for low-income parents and families to try to do the best that they can.
Community members are encouraged to think of volunteering in 2020. Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break, the group to join if you're going off-road, and stories from the water, the exhibition with a powerful message. Welcome back. There was unusual bubbling coming from Whyalla swimming enclosure this week. The source, 2 scuba divers cleaning the netting using a high-pressure hose. The maintenance needed to prevent the build-up of debris and to keep the perimeter afloat.
Just to keep the net in good condition so that it lasts its full life. Otherwise, it'll deteriorate a lot quicker. The net will get dragged down because of the weight of the seaweed and the algae.
The swimming area is currently closed to the public while jetty construction continues. If you're thinking about hitting 4-wheel drive tracks, there's a new movement to get you off the road. A Port Augusta enthusiast has created a page to encourage people to visit the Flinders Ranges. It's set to be a win for drivers and station owners.
Andy Ireland has been passionate about 4-wheel driving for 40 years, but out on the tracks he doesn't see as many locals taking advantage of our surroundings.
A lot of 4-wheel drives in town, but found not a lot of crew had actually done a lot of the great 4-wheel drive tracks up in the Flinders.
So he's taken action, creating a Facebook group, hopeful to get other drivers together to adventure.
Considering we've got some of the best 4-wheel drive tracks in the country, I thought there's got to be a better way of trying to get guys out and using their 4-wheel drives and up in the Flinders and supporting the stations and stuff that offer the drives.
The group already seeing momentum, with 58 members joining since it began just over a week ago. Confident that if numbers increase, so will the fun.
I'm bored, I'm going to go for a drive tomorrow, and you might be able to hook up with someone that says, yeah, I'm going to come along too, and bang, next thing you got a little bit of a convoy and have a bit of fun up in the hills and a barbie lunch and have a great 4-wheel drive.
Particularly for local guests, I think a lot of us are culprits of not exploring our own backyard.
4-wheel driving, a huge economic boost for locations such as the Skytrek Willow Spring Station.
People pulling into local cafes, pubs, restaurants, having a meal, of course our local servos, galleries, anything like that. If we can just get people out into regions, the flow-on effect is massive.
Those interested in joining can send a request to Port Augusta 4-wheel drive tourers on Facebook. Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A new art exhibition opens in Broken Hill tonight with a powerful message behind it, where Starling Arts will unveil a major collaboration of the region's Indigenous artists telling their stories about a significant waterway.
It may be known as the Darling River today, but for the Barkindji people, it's also known as the Barker.
Tonight's exhibition actually showcases our connection and also showcases our stories. And the story that we're trying to tell people is our ongoing strong connection that we have with the Darling River, which is our mother.
Barker Stories opens tonight at West Darling Arts in the Town Hall facade. The exhibition has given the First Nations people the opportunity to express their views about the state of their beloved Barker River.
So what we're trying to capture is both capturing the strengths and the weaknesses of what's happening in the Darling River at the moment.
The show features works from over 20 Indigenous artists across the far west. The variety of pieces includes paintings, wood carvings and sculptures. A prominent piece, a life-size heart made of wood used in a series of photographs.
This work behind me here by Taya Biggs, it actually does the 3 stages. So we've got the river healthy, the river stagnant and then the river dead at the bottom.
A confronting look at the Darling River's current state is at the centre of the show, a table featuring dead marine life like turtles and fish, as well as a bottle of river water.
There's a good range of, sort of feelings and emotions that, that people are expressing.
Barker Stories will be up on display until the end of the month. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. The police bounty from a charity golf day, and we'll have the weather details with Britt. Hello again. Port Augusta police are offering up a bounty from their charity golf day in October. A total of $16,000 was raised at the event for 2 different organisations.
Just over 2 months ago, golfers were putting away at an event held at the golf course. Organisers put the success of the event down to community spirit.
I think because all the money stays local, it's local businesses donating to local charities. That's always been one of the rules of the day.
In its 13th year, this year's event raising over $16,000. The recipients thankful for the opportunity to be a part of the day.
First time for Ignite, so it's really exciting to be a part of it.
It was a great opportunity to work with another organisation in the community.
Police say it's a great way to be involved in the community.
Usually the police are never involved in anything good, so I guess it gives the community opportunity to see another side of us, and also an opportunity for our local businesses and charities to all work together to benefit the local community.
The 2 organisations plan to use the money to improve their facilities.
We'd like to bring in some more workshop opportunities for some of our athletes. Being in the country, it's really hard to fund the people coming in from interstate and also internationally.
Our aim is to have people like magicians and music and dance groups and cartoonists and all sorts of things come into the facility.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Let's hear from the experts with this week's cricket tips.
Welcome to round 8 of the Port Lincoln Cricket Tips. This weekend's first match sees Waybacks vs Todd River out at Ravendale Oval. Going on ladder position, and since they're playing on their home ground, I'm going to tip Waybacks. The second match we've got is Charlton and Tasman out at Poole Oval. Tasman's had a good win last week, and I'm tipping them to take it home again. In the last match, we've got Lincoln South versus Southern Air at Centenary. No doubt it'll be a close game, but going on competition points so far, I'm tipping the safe bet lies with Southern Air. And don't forget, put on a hat and slip, slop, slap. Thanks for tuning in to the Port Lincoln Cricket Tips.
Broken Hill Cricket moves into round 8 tomorrow with the start of 2020 rounds again, 2 rounds of 2020 cricket before the Christmas break. In the early game, undefeated Central take on North. Not much between the 2 sides. I think North can actually cause an upset here and end the Central's run. In the second game, South taking on West. South and West are on equal points on the premiership ladder, so this takes on a lot of importance as well, and this is a toss of the coin job. I think the Southerners perhaps may just get up in a very tight contest.
Yeah, g'day and welcome to round 5 of Port Augusta cricket. This week we see West Augusta take on South Augusta at Etzer. West need to win this match, but unfortunately I can't see them getting past South. The other match sees Corn take on Central Stirling in Corn. Central had a very good win last week and they need to win this match as well, but unfortunately I can't see them getting past Corn. So there are my 2 winners, South Augusta and Corn.
Hello and welcome to round 7 of Port Pirie cricket. This round starts with Port Germain up against Wandera at Port Oval. Port Germain have won their last 2 matches and will be looking forward to this match. Wandera find themselves in their usual spot at the top of the ladder. I'm tipping Wandera. At Perry West, it's Solly North taking on Props. Solly North have lost their last 2 matches and will be happy to be back on Perry West. Props have been inconsistent this season with 2 wins and 2 losses. I'm tipping Solly North.
Time to take a look at what's happening in the weather. And Britt, it looks like temperatures are set to heat up over the weekend.
Good evening, Alex. You're absolutely right. Tomorrow is looking much like today, but temperatures are set to soar on Sunday. I'll have a little more on that in a moment, but first let's take a look at today's conditions. Partly cloudy about the Gulf, Broken Hill with our top temp reaching 31 degrees, Port Augusta 29, Port Pirie 26, Whyalla 25, Adelaide 23, Port Lincoln 18. From the satellite, low cloud over our region with onshore winds but no rain. Moving along to tomorrow's southeasterly winds on the Gulf waters at around 15 to 20 knots with seas at 1.5 metres. The sun will rise just after 6 a.m. with sunset just before 20 past 8. Sunny conditions forecast throughout most of the region with a little bit of cloud about the lower Eyre Peninsula. Woodnut looking at a top of 36 degrees tomorrow. Port Augusta and Corn 35, Broken Hill 32, Port Pirie 31, Clare 30, Kadina 29, Whyalla and Cleve both 28, Coffin Bay and Adelaide 27, Port Pirie 20. Taking a look now at Sunday and into next week, and we'll have a hot second half of the weekend before temperatures cool down again into Monday. Port Lincoln with a top of 31 on Sunday, partly cloudy conditions Monday and Tuesday. Cleve and Woodnut both with partly cloudy days ahead, maximums jumping into the low to mid 40s on Sunday, but dropping back to 29 on Monday. Fine and partly cloudy conditions on the way for Whyalla and Port Augusta, both heading into the 40s on Sunday. Kadina with a top of 38 on Sunday, Monday 27 degrees. Port Pirie and Clare both looking fine into next week, hot on Sunday with maximums in the late 30s, dropping back to the early 30s on Monday. And finally to Broken Hill where it's looking hot and sunny, Sunday 38, Monday 42. And Alex, that's the weekend weather. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Britt. And that's the local news this Friday evening. Thank you for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.